Alright, so to get us started, 19q. Write that down, x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x plus 12. And today we're going to be finishing the last portion, and just a reminder, I've been uploading videos every day all this week, so there's already 4 parts for the study guide. Today's going to be the last part. I'm going to upload that as well. So make sure over the weekend, study, go to the videos, watch the videos, because we start next week our final. Yeah, yay! 25% of your grade, yay! All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Let's factor this using grouping. So let's group the first two. Last two. So what is GCF for these two right here? X to the second. Both of them have at least 2 x's, yes? So we're left with x plus 4. Plus, what is GCF for these two? What divides both terms? 3. And we're left with x plus 4. So what's the same here and here? Oh, x plus 4. And what do we have left? We have x squared plus 3. So these are my factors. Alright, go to your study guide, do number 19 by yourself. Even if you already did it, do it again, please. Go. Alright, let's see. Group, GCF is x squared, we're left with x plus 7. GCF is 6, we're left with x plus 7. What's the same here and here? X plus 7. And we have left what? X squared plus 6. Hands if you got that. Okay? On your blank sheet of paper, copy this. Example 20Q. We got 64x to the 4th plus 128x to the 3rd minus 8x minus 16. Alright, let's group it. First 2, last 2. So, what divides 64 that divides 128? It looks like it's 64, yes. And what else do they have in common? They have x cubed for each term. So that means we're left with x plus 2. Yeah. Yeah, so for right now, we're just going to go straight to here so we can practice the grouping. But yeah, there is GCF. We'll get to that at the end. So, by looking at it, what is GCF for these two right here? Negative 8. We're left with x plus 2. So what's the same here and here? X plus 2. And what do we have left? Well, we have the 64x cubed minus 8. Now, this should be a red flag because we can still factor this one because it's a cubic difference of cubes. So let's check to see if we can take the cubic or the cube root. Can I take this cube root of 64x cubed? Yes, that would be 4x. Or we can write it as 4x to the 3rd. Minus, can I take the cube root of 8? Let me check. One number times itself 3 times give me 8. 2, or we can write it as 2 cubed. Now you might be asking, Mr. Q, why do we need to write it like that, Mr. Q? Because we're going to factor it using an identity. The identity that we're looking at is difference of cubes, and it looks like this. I'm going to write it up here. X cubed minus y cubed, and the factors of that would be x minus y, and then times x squared plus xy plus y squared. Which means what, Mr. Q? That instead of x, what do I have? 4x. Okay. And instead of y, we have what? 2. So, if we were to replace all of these, instead of with x and y, with these, what do I write? 4x minus 2. What else? Instead of x squared, what do I write? 4x squared plus x times y, 4x times 2, plus y squared, which is 2 squared. Let me bring this down. That means I got 4x minus 2. That stays the same. But this one, what is 4x times 4x? 16x squared. How about 4x times 2? 8x. How about 2 squared? That's 4. So those are my factors, but don't forget, look up the BFF, x plus 2. These are my factors. Okay? So what's probably the most challenging part of this number 20 on the final is that when you group, you find GCF, you get your factors here, that this is going to be probably a trinomial, and you need to know this, because that's not going to be given to you on the final. So you need to know that one. So, do number 20 by yourself from the study guide. Even if you already did it, let's do it again. I'll give you some time for that. Ready? Go. Alright, you should be just about done. Here goes the work. GCF for the first two was 8x to the third. We're left with x plus 2. GCF for the second, negative 27. We're left with x plus 2. That means what's the same here and here? X plus 2. And what does that leave us with? It leaves us with 8x squared minus 27, 8x cubed minus 27. So there should be a red flag with a subtraction in the cubic. So let's see. Can I take the cube root of this one? Yes, that's 2x cubed minus cube root of 27 is what? 3. So that's 3 cubed. So my identity is what? X cubed minus y cubed, which is x minus y, and then x squared plus xy plus y squared. So now instead of x, I'm going to write what? 2x. And instead of y, I'm going to write 3. So if I substitute those values in here, I have 2x minus 3. Then I have 2x squared plus 2x times 3 plus 3 squared, which means this is 2x minus 3. This is 4x squared. 2x times 3, that's 6x. And 3 squared is 9. Am I done? No. The BFF is x plus 2. And these are my factors. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? Alright? Alright. Let's go to our blank sheet of paper. Write down example 21Q. Example 21Q. Write this down. 3x squared minus 7x plus 4 divided by x plus 3. This one we're going to do by long division. Okay? So here goes the process. For long division, the very first thing we do is check to see if they are in standard form. So let's see. What's the degree of this term? 2. This one, exponent of the variable is 1. This one doesn't have a variable, so it's 0. So is it from highest to lowest? Yes. Is there anything missing? No. How about this one? First degree, 0 degree, highest to lowest? Yes. Anything missing? No. Once we see that it's in standard form, so we write our dividend. What's our dividend? 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. And for this one, we're doing what? Long division. Whoa. What's our divisor? Our divisor is x plus 3. So this is probably taking you back to elementary, you guys remember? When they asked you to do long division? So, question. What number times x gives me 3x squared? 3x, yes. 3x times x is 3x squared. Now, we do that for both terms. So 3x times 3 now is 9x, positive. So we distributed this to both terms and we run that, okay? So now what are we going to do? We're going to subtract. Make sure you do this step, because some of you skip it and you end up making mistakes. So subtraction, I'm going to circle it. That means I'm going to distribute it here and there. So what is 3x minus 3x? They cancel. Negative 7 and negative 9, that's negative 16x. Bring down the next term, which is plus 4. And let's do it again. What number times x gives me negative 16x? Negative 16, yes. Negative 16 times x is negative 16x, but also negative 16 times 3 is negative 48. We're going to subtract. So what do I do with that subtraction? I distribute. This becomes positive. This becomes positive. These cancel. So we're left with 48 plus 4, that is 52, and that's a remainder. Okay? So what's my answer, Mr. Q? Well, this, the quotient. What is my quotient? 3x minus 16. But since we have a remainder, I always add a fraction bar. And my remainder is 52 over the divisor, which is x plus 3. Look how beautiful that looks, right? Okay, before you go and do that one on your study guide, let's do 22q. Let's copy the same polynomial, 3x squared minus 7x plus 4 divided by x plus 3. Now I'm just going to give you a heads up. The answer is going to be the same, but we're going to use what? Synthetic, yes? Synthetic division. Process is the same. Let's check to make sure that it's in standard form. What's the degree of this one? 2, 1, 0. Standard form, yes. Anything missing? No. 1, 0. Standard form, yes. Anything missing? No. So what's the difference, Mr. Q? Well, we start with the divisor here, set it equal to 0. Let's solve. Minus 3 minus 3, x equals negative 3, and that's the number we're going to use as our divisor for our synthetic division. From there, we go to our dividend, use the coefficients and the constant. What is my coefficient here? 3, negative 7, and my constant? 4. Bring down, bless you, bring down the 3, and now we can start multiplying. Here we go. Negative 3 times 3 goes up here on the next term. That's negative 9. Combine those, that gives us negative 16. Let's do it again. Negative 3 times negative 16, it goes up here, and that is 48. Combine those, 48 plus 4 is 52. There's no other term, so this is my remainder. So, this is where some of you get a little bit confused. Look up. What was the beginning portion? It was a squared, Mr. Q. That means after we do our division, this no longer could be a square. We take 1 degree off. So instead of being 3x squared, this is now 3x. So if this is x, this one can no longer be x. This is a constant, so this is negative 16. Do we have a remainder? Yes, so we put plus fraction bar, 52, and our divisor was what? Over here in blue, yes, x plus 3. This is our answer. Is it the same as this? Yes, because we use a different method now. Okay? I want you to go to your study guide, do numbers 21 and 22. Copy that and go. All right, there's the work for number 21 on your screen. Hands if you got that. Okay. We go to synthetic division. We got 3 divides into 2, negative 4 and 9. Bring down the 2. Multiply. 6 combined, that's 2. 6 combined, that's 15. So, 2x minus, plus 2 plus 15 over x minus 3. And have you got that? Okay. All right. All right. Shall we? The last page. Let's go. Let's go. Number 20. Yeah. Number 23Q, here we go. Write this down. We're going to simplify and EV. Tell your neighbor what EV stands for. Yeah, check for excluded values. Here we go. We got 4x squared minus 8x over x minus 2. All right, to simplify, we need to factor our numerator and denominator. So let's see, the numerator. Can we factor this more? Yes. No Power Rangers, no square roots, but we can check for DCF. What's DCF? 4x, and that leaves us with x minus 2. The denominator. Can we factor this anymore? Not really, but what would be the only number that divides both terms? A1, right? So we're left still with x minus 2. The reason I want to use that 1 as a factor to show you guys the giant 1. Do you guys see the giant 1 now? Yeah? So if you don't see it, here it is. So that leaves us with 4x over 1, which is 4x. Am I done? No, that was just what? Simplify. Now I need to find what? Excluded value. What do we do for excluded value, Mr. Q? We always go with the denominator and write it equal to 0 and solve. So plus 2, x equals 2. All right, do number 23 by yourself in the study guide, please. All right, check your work on the screen. 2t, hands if you got that. Okay, and excluded value, t equals 3. Okay, we good, yeah? Let's go to the funner ones, yeah? On your blank sheet of paper, copy this. 24Q. 24Q. Alright, so we got x plus 1 over x minus 5 plus negative 12x minus 12 over x squared plus x minus 30. All right, and again, taking you back to second, third grade, remember? You're like, no. Yeah, we have a fraction equal, plus another fraction. What is the one thing that your teacher asked you to find first? Or do they have a common denominator? Do we have a common denominator? No. However, how do we know what else one denominator needs than the other unless we factor the denominator? So let's factor this one first. Negative 30. The coefficient here is 1. So factors of negative 30, that add up to 1. What is it? Alright, so you said 6 and negative 5, is that correct? 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, 6 minus 5 is 1. So my factors for this one are x plus 6, x minus 5. And now we can see that the other denominator doesn't look like this one. What is it missing? X plus 6, so that means I need to multiply this times x plus 6, top and bottom, x plus 6. Which means what? Now we have a common denominator. Our common denominator is x plus 6, x minus 5, x plus 6, x minus 5. This numerator stays the same, negative 12x minus 12. Now look, this one, look up, I am going to multiply. So I'm going to go step by step, here we go. I'm going to go x times x, that is x squared. I'm going to write it out first here before I write it on my numerator. What is x times 1? That is 1x. Next, what is 6 times x? That's 6x. And what is 6 times 1? That is 6. And now I can combine this and write my trinomial here. X squared plus 7x plus 6. Alright, so, am I done? No, now we can add. Both fractions become 1, so my common denominator for both was x plus 6, x minus 5, and now I can focus on the numerator and combine the numerators. This and this. So, what do we have? X squared. Is there another x squared over here? No. Next, 7x and negative 12x, that gives me negative 5x. Then I got 6 minus 12, that is negative 6. Is it simplified? We don't know because this one's not factored. What does that mean, Mr. Q? That I need to factor it again now. This is negative 6 and negative 5. So, factors of negative 6, that add up to negative 5. Very good. Negative 6 and 1. So, factors are x minus 6, x plus 1. That's the numerator. What's the denominator? X plus 6, x minus 5. Question. Can I get rid of any giant ones? No, these are not the same. There's nothing the same, so we are done. However, on the instructions, they ask us, can you identify any number that makes this undefined? What does that mean, Mr. Q? Whenever you see instructions that says undefined, all it means you need to check for what? Excluded values. So let's check for excluded values. So what do I write? X plus 6 equal to 0. What else? X minus 5 equal to 0. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm taking this denominator, set them equal to 0. Okay. However, I need to double check that I have these in my original denominators. Are they here? Yes. How about here? Yes, they're both of them there. All right, let's solve. So, minus 6 minus 6, x equals negative 6, plus 5 plus 5, x equals 5. Those are my excluded values, or the numbers that make the expression undefined. Do number 24 on your study guide by yourself, please. Go. Give you some time for that. Copy and go. So I found my factors for the second denominator, then I found what made it common for both, distributed the numerator, and here's my common denominator, so now I can write it as one fraction. And combine the numerators. So far so good, yeah? Next, factor the numerator. Factors are x minus 4, x plus 2. The denominator, we got x plus 5, x minus 4. But now we can actually identify a giant 1. That leaves us with x plus 2, x plus 5. And we are done. And have you got that? Okay. Now, we need to, it says here, identify the x values for which the expression is undefined. Remember, whenever you see something like this, just write EV to remind you that you just need to find the excluded value. Now, be careful with these, because these are tricky for the excluded value. Look, what is the denominator that's left? X plus 5 equal to 0. But I asked you to check with the original denominators. Do we have that in the original? Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. This is here. But what is missing? X minus 4. So you need to make sure you write it in there. and set it equal to 0 as well, the original denominator. So, minus 5 minus 5, x equals negative 5. Whoop. Plus 4, x equals 4, and those are my excluded values. Alright, shall we? Number 25 cubed, copy this. Let's see, oh, I like this one. 1 over q divided by q minus 23 over 23q. And for this one, all we're going to do, instructions, divide and simplify. Okay. So, again, going back to elementary, 3rd grade, what did your teacher say? First fraction stays the same. Then, this becomes what? Multiplication, and we multiply times the reciprocal, which is 23q over q minus 23. So, multiply, that is 1 times 23q is 23q over, now check this out. I'm not going to distribute the q times q times negative 23. I'm just going to write them as factors. Q times q minus 23. Why did I do that? Because like that it allows me to get rid of a giant 1. You guys see the giant 1? Yeah, right here. Why was I able to do that? Because the q is multiplying, same here. So we're left with 23 over q minus 23. Now before I move on, why can't I get rid of the 23s right here? Tell your neighbor, please. Because it has subtraction here. We can only get rid of stuff if it has multiplication like here and like there. Alright, so we're done. This is simplified. Do number 25 on your study guide by yourself. And you got that? Alright? So, we've arrived to our last one. Let's go. It's only 26, yeah? Alright, on your blank sheet of paper, copy this, please. Example 26Q. So they want us to solve, and then we're going to solve for x over x minus 3 equals x plus 2 over negative x plus 3. So watch, we're going to check, we're going to solve, but then they want us to check for extraneous solutions. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's first solve this, okay? So, how do we solve this? Well, we have a fraction equal to another fraction, which means it's a proportion. So, I'm going to start with the smallest value, cross multiply. So, x times negative x and x times 3. Negative x squared and 3x. Yes, ma'am? So, now we take this one, cross multiply times this one. So, I'm going to show that over here on the side so that we don't get confused. So, I'm going to write it out, x minus 3 and x plus 2, and we distribute. Here we go. X times x squared, x times 2, that's 2x. Negative 3 times x, that's negative 3x. And negative 3 times 2, that's negative 6. Now I can combine these, so that we're left with x squared minus x minus 6. We there so far? Yes? So now we have a quadratic equation. What is the first thing we do to start solving this equation? Okay. Make one side equal to 0. So I'm going to bring all of this over here. So that means I need to add x squared and minus 3x. Add x squared and minus 3x. 0 equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. Alright, let's factor. Before I do the power rangers, can we take GCF here? Yes, GCF is 2. We're left with x squared minus 2x minus 3. All that equal to 0. Then, negative 3, negative 2. Factors of negative 3, that add up to negative 2. Negative 3 and 1, yeah. So my factors are x minus 3, x plus 1, and times 2. Alright? So now that we have this, we set them equal to 0 and solve. So 2 equal to 0, that's not true, so that eliminates. So we got x minus 3 equal to 0. Let's solve it. Plus 3 plus 3, x equals 3. And then this one, x plus 1 equal to 0, minus 1 minus 1, x equals negative 1. Alright, so we're done solving. But then they want us to do what? Check for what? Extraneous. What does that mean? Whenever you see that word, I want you to write excluded values. So, tell your neighbor what to write to get started with excluded values, please. Bless you, bless you. Bless you. Let's see, get us started. Miguel, go. What do I write? Close. We need to write something to get started for excluded values. We always use what? The denominators of our whatever is given. So these, yes? Set them equal to 0. So x minus 3 equal to 0 and negative x plus 3 equal to 0. You guys got to remember that one. Excluded values, we always take the denominators and set them equal to 0 to solve. So here we go. Plus 3 plus 3. X equals 3. Minus 3 minus 3. Negative x equals negative 3. Divide by negative 1. X equals 3. It's the same. So now check this out. According to what we just found, the excluded value is what? 3. What does that mean, Mr. Q? Excluded means that you cannot use it. That's why it's excluded. Excluded. Wait a minute. But what was our solution? One of the solutions was what? 3. But if it's an excluded value, that means we cannot use that one. So once you identify the excluded value and you find that out, then you need to write there extraneous. So like that, it lets me know that you actually know that we cannot use that solution. Okay? Alright? Do number 26 on your study guide by yourself. I'll give you some time for that. Copy and go. Alright, let's see where we're at. So I cross multiply, that gives me negative 3x squared plus 6x, and then these two give me this, and then I combine some like terms, that gives me x squared minus 6x plus 8. Make it equal to 0, so I add 3x squared minus 6x, 3x squared minus 6x to each side. We got 0 equals 4x squared minus 12x plus 8. GCF is 4. We're left with x squared minus 3x plus 2. All that equal to 0. Factor this. Factors of 2 that add up to 3. Negative 2 and negative 1. Yes. So this is x minus 2, x minus 1 times 4 equal to 0. Therefore 4 equal to 0. That's not true. X minus 2 equal to 0, that's add 2, x equals 2. X minus 1 equal to 0, so add 1, x equals 1. These are my solutions, but we're not done. We need to check for what? Excluded values. Take my denominator, x minus 2 equal to 0, add 2, x equals 2. What do we notice? That's our what? Yeah, excluded value, so we write extraneous. Alright guys, before you leave, take a study guide with you. Monday we start our final, and also be ready with your, study guides are over here. Also get your notebook and binders ready, because I'm going to start on Monday checking binders and notebooks. Especially those that are online that you weren't here, make sure you get that ready. Have a good one, guys. Have a good weekend. See you guys till Monday. Bye.